You are listening to Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast.
When your heart is aching and your world is shaking, don't give up. No, don't give up.
Hello and welcome to Oh My Health, There Is Hope, the podcast. I'm your host, Jana Short, and I am so excited to introduce all of you guys today to Tracy Beavers. Tracy has more than 20 years experience in sales and marketing, and as the owner of 3 businesses, she understands the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. Tracy's corporate career has spanned several industries: insurance, lending, real estate, and sales. Throughout her careers, one fact remained constant: her love of people and her passion to help them win. Her ability to build relationships with others and listen to their needs is the bedrock of her success in sales. Tracy enjoys helping small business owners with business development, client retention, time management, and effective marketing communication. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you here today, Tracy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
One of the things we always ask our guests to do at the beginning of every show is to share a story of hope. And I do this because I know that our messages, our journeys, and our stories of hope go out and create this ripple effect of hope and change in the world.
Yes.
So do you want to share your story of hope with us?
Sure, I do. It's very personal. So it's not easy to talk about on a public forum, but I do believe that the best thing that can come from it is me talking about it, because there are other people that may be going through a similar situation. So I was married to my kid's father for 12 years. And, it just never felt like a true partnership. And the last 4 years of it, I just knew I had done everything I could to make it, a true marriage and working for both of us. So I knew that I was going through a divorce. And I had not worked in corporate America in 2 years because I had been downsized at my last corporate job and took my severance package and, just put it in the bank and thought that I could be a stay-at-home mom and maybe have a side hustle on the side. So at the point that I realized I'm going to be going through a divorce, I hadn't worked in 2 years. So I had no money of my own. I had no job. I had 2 little kids. They were 8 and 4. This was a long time ago. They are now 22 and 18. And I honestly did not know what I was going to do. I couldn't live in our house that we lived in because I didn't have a job, and there was no way I could have afforded it by myself. So I had nowhere to live. And I say all that to give other people that are going through a similar situation hope. And the way I got through it was literally one day at a time. My grandfather, who was one of the wisest people I've ever known, he and my grandmother, he used to say all the time, one day at a time, just do the next right thing. And so God and I had a lot of conversations and it literally was, okay, what's my next right step? And it was sometimes getting me through the day was 5 minutes at a time, sometimes 10 minutes at a time. Slowly but surely, I found a job. It didn't pay more than $15,000 a year. And I'm a single mom with 2 kids. But I was working at my kids' school, and it was a job, and it got me on their same schedule. And, it was what we needed at the time. And I found a place to live. That was great. Didn't always have money to buy groceries for me, but I always had money to buy groceries for the kids. And we made it. We just made it little by little, day by day.
Tracy, I love your story because there's so many women who are going through that right now. And the best part is we're going to talk about where she's at in her story now. And so we want you to know it's possible for all of you to create that new beginning, that new wholeness in your life again.
Right.
And I remember having to start over because I'm in my 60s now. And I remember I literally have started over with nothing, like literally nothing, and more than once in my life. And I always ended up with more and so much more filled when that happens. So sometimes we have to go back to the beginning and start all over, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I talk to my clients about that a lot when I'm doing coaching, because sometimes in business we have to go back a little bit so that we can go back up.
Exactly.
But it's kind of gets scary. It's the downturn scary.
When I say starting all over, I moved from Northern California back to LA, and I threw all my stuff in storage until I found a place here. And accidentally at the storage facility, they had a big auction. They auctioned off my storage unit. It was all by accident. I got a check, but there was no way of telling them what the value was, because when everything you own is in a place, everything I owned was in a place. I had no idea. Like, you don't inventory it as it goes in. And I literally started over from scratch with nothing, with 4 kids. It was craziness, but I ended up more than whole. And I learned a great lesson. It's just stuff. It literally is just, they didn't sell off one of my kids.
Yeah.
It's just stuff, and it
It is.
can be replaced. And even though some of them have emotional attachments, right? That emotional attachment is in us, not with the item. And so I still had all those beautiful emotional attachments that I could hold on to. So I'm telling you, wherever you're at right now, and if you've been through something similar to what Tracy has gone through, or you're going through that now, there's more than hope for you. There's a beautiful future ahead of you.
Yeah, there is, for sure.
I definitely want to talk about how that got you to where you're at now and how you're showing up and serving the world.
So, you know, that was one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my life. And I think primarily because I had 2 little ones. If it had just been me, it would have been awful and it would have been hard, but it wouldn't have been nearly as frightening as being responsible for 2 little ones. So what that taught me was resilience and faith. And when I decided to become an entrepreneur a few years ago, I thought back to that time when I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing. I didn't know where my job was going to be. I didn't know where we were going to live. I didn't know anything other than the sun's going to come up tomorrow and I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my clothes on and put my shoes on and I'm going to do the best I can. And so when I started off on the entrepreneurial journey, it was a lot like that too. Because when you work for someone else in corporate America, which I have for a long, long time, you get everything given to you. You get the name tag, you get the business cards, you get the desk, you get the phone, you get the job description, you get the KPIs, you know, the benchmarks for what they want you to meet. You get the paycheck, you get the benefits, you get all of it. But when you start out as an entrepreneur, there's nothing there. It's you. It is you and your laptop and your big idea. And I had to think back to myself, and I still do this. When I have days where I don't feel like I can coach my way out of a paper sack, I think back to times like that when I had to call on my resilience and my faith and know that I could do it. And then I have to go back to times when, you know, in corporate America, I took a couple of jobs that people flat out told me that I wasn't going to succeed in. And I did. I'm one of those people that's like, oh, okay, you're going to tell me no? Okay, hold on. Watch this. You know, sit down, hold my coffee mug and watch this, because I will prove you wrong. My mother told me when I was little, she said, the worst thing anybody could ever tell you is no. It's not possible. You can't do that. You know, girls don't do that. Women don't do that. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you. So going out on my own as an entrepreneur and wanting to pursue business coaching in a space that feels saturated sometimes, I have to think back to that, that dark time and that time of real bootstrap resilience and grit that I had to call on. I had to get scrappy.
I love that you're a tell me no girl. I'm a tell me no girl too. If you tell me no, I'm not going to be able to do something, I will literally kill myself trying to get it done. And I always do. Like I have a tell me no group of girls I hang with. And when I really want them to get something done, that's what I use, reverse psychology. You're never going to be able to do that.
Right.
Watch me. Oh, I would love to. So yes, we come from a very unique crowd of women who, if you tell us no, it's the best way to get us to do something and do it well.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
I know I want to talk a lot about your Be a Confident Entrepreneur 6-week course you have. And here's what I want to discuss before we go into what that course is about, because there's so many women out there that have beautiful, big ideas, and something is stopping you from getting it. Like the how am I going to do this? I don't have enough of this, or what if I'm going to need that? And some of us are perfectionists, so everything has to be in alignment before we start moving towards it. Nothing's ever going to be in perfect alignment. It's like waiting for a kid to have a child before, everything's perfect. It won't happen. So I want you to explain to the women listening right now, first of all, what does that mean, entrepreneurship? Like you did touch on it a little bit. It means like using that big, beautiful idea and that fire in your gut that's telling you, I got something really big I want to do and I want to make this happen.
Mhm.
How do they turn that into becoming an entrepreneur with it?
Yeah. So just step by step, whatever their idea is, the best thing for me has always been to get it out of my brain onto either a Trello board online or notepad and pen, and vision where you want your life to go. Vision the end result. Who do you want to serve? Do you want to create a product? Do you want to create a service? Do you want to open a boutique? Do you want to what do you want to do? Vision it, and then put it all out on paper so you can look and see what are the pieces that I need. What are the pieces of the puzzle that I need to put together to make this thing work? And I will tell you, what you said is exactly true. If we waited until we were 100% ready, we would never start. You've got to take what you want to do and the first few little pieces that you find, put them together and muster your confidence and dive into the deep end of the pool, because that's where you're going to figure it out. So my Be a Confident Entrepreneur course is a great example of that, because I actually sold it before it was finished. And the reason why was because I thought, there's a piece of this where I need my clients' feedback, and I need to make sure that I create something that's really going to serve their true need. So I can create something over here, but I might miss the mark because they might say, oh, we'd like to have more of that, or we'd like to hear more about this. And so I knew, based on the feedback and talking to my clients, what parts needed to be beefed up, what parts I could trim. And that way I really created something that they really were going to love and that was going to serve them.
I love that. By the way, when she says to visualize it first, she's having you do more than just find your why. She's having you create that beautiful mission, because it's more like, I want to build a business because I'm tired of going to work and clicking a clock, or I need to feed my family, or I need to make the house payment, or I'm putting my kids through college. That's freaking expensive. I need to earn more money. So those are whys, right? Those are great whys. But when you visualize it and start working back on what you need, it becomes a mission. It becomes so much more important. And missions are what create huge entrepreneurs from the people who play in entrepreneurship. So I think that you would agree with this, Tracy. Like if I were selling a pair of earrings, let's say, why am I selling? Because I love making jewelry. That's my why. I just want all the women in the world wearing my beautiful earrings. That's a why. But I also want to help women, single moms raising babies, right? Who doesn't want to help single moms getting back in school, creating a career, building a business? And I'm going to give $2 off every pair of earrings to help single moms. Now, all of a sudden, my beautiful why of wanting to create this beautiful jewelry because of a passion for it has this motive and this movement to help single moms go back to school and get educated. And when you start doing, like you were just saying, visualizing it and stepping back and back and back to the beginning on how you're going to create that, you start building a mission statement. And missions are what change your business for sure.
And missions are what keep you going on the days when you're like, why in the heck am I doing this? Because being an entrepreneur is really lonely. Nobody talks about that, but it can be really lonely, and it can be hard. It's like, like I say, I have days where I'm like, what am I doing? Am I really making a difference? But my mission is to reach as many people as possible, especially women, and help them know with confidence that they're getting to their goal, that it's going to be fine. And we put in places, when I do my private coaching and in the course, we put into place the pieces of their roadmap so that they can look and see, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And that builds that confidence. Because if we don't have a clear roadmap, for me anyway, that's where I start to lack confidence, because I'm like, ooh, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I making the right decision? But when you lay it out and you've got that mission at the end, that's just that fire for you, nobody's going to stop you.
I think another thing that you said that really stands out to me, because we're both coaches, and when I'm coaching, I have people tell me all the time, thank you so much. I couldn't have done that without you. I did this because of you. And I stop them right there. I had nothing to do with your success, nothing. I also would have nothing to do with your failure. It's all on you. You create that beautiful success. You could have not listened to a word I said. You could have maybe tweaked it to fit you. Whatever you do, you're right, it's lonely. Whether if you fail, nobody's there to help you like say, oh, I that was on me, right? I'm my bad. It's all on you. But don't let anyone take your beautiful success from you either. That is also on you. Showed up, you did the work, you put the money in, the time in, the heart, the soul. And so your success is on you as well as your failure. It is a scary, lonely place when you're building a business, for sure. But it is probably one of the most joyous places I've ever been in.
Yeah, I'm much happier building this and helping people than anything I've ever done.
Well, I want to touch a little bit more on the confident part of being an entrepreneur. By the way, it is huge. You know, I hear the phrase all the time, fake it till you make it, imposter syndrome. When she says visualize, it's more than visualizing it. It's seeing you in that space of success. It's creating that beautiful blueprint in your brain to go there. It doesn't know any different. It doesn't know that you can't do it or it's going to be challenging. It only knows what you tell it. Yes. So talk a little bit about how important it is to start building that confidence. It, again, is the key to those who really bust out and do so well in their business, and those that are always struggling to just keep getting there because of I meet people all the time, they're super confident, and I think they must be doing freaking awesome. And they're like, no, I just started. Oh, I'm so.
No, I haven't made any money.
Yeah, no, but I'm going to. You are.
Right. Yeah. The confidence, that's something that I came to through some market research. So I was trying to figure out, what direction do I want to go with my coaching? What do I want the messaging to be around? You know, where is the spot that people really need help? And it didn't matter if we were talking about time management and management of the schedule, or we were talking about having confidence with your sales message, your marketing messaging, your sales technique, for lack of a better word. I don't like that word. Your sales sequence with your clients, you know, how you move them through the sales process, your networking. I was talking to a lot of women, and it kept just coming back to everything kept falling under the umbrella of confidence. They weren't confident in their schedule. Their schedule was not serving them. They were serving it, which was causing the reaction mode and the exhaustion, which leads to a lack of confidence, because you get tired and you're like, why am I doing this? And why is this? I can't ever get to my goals because I'm so busy on this hamster wheel. Or we talk about sales and they would say, I just don't know what to say. I don't know the questions to ask. I don't know how to open the door to lead someone through from meeting me to sold, or meeting me to being a referral partner or a collaboration partner. And they just didn't feel confident about that process and how it laid out and the roadmap of it. You know, the networking thing, they didn't feel confident about when to follow up with somebody, because you can go to a bunch of networking events, either virtual or in person, and you can collect a lot of business cards. But if you don't do anything else, then you might as well have never left the house. And so they were like, well, okay, I've got all these people that I met. Now what do I do? And so there was a lack of confidence there with feeling like they knew what they were doing. And so it all just kept coming back to, I wanted to help these women stand in their confidence, know how amazing they are, and stop questioning themselves because they have the answers. It's just like you said, as a coach, my job as a coach, you have all the answers in you. My job is to find them and pull them out and stop you from doubting yourself. That's what I do as a coach. You've got everything in you. You just don't see it because you're in it.
100%. I could not agree with you more. Like I tell people all the time, you're enough exactly like you are. You don't need a bigger computer. You don't need someone to do this, or you don't need the ability to do that. You can make anything happen with the beautiful tools you already have, because almost everything, I usually say 80% of everything we succeed at starts between these two beautiful ears of yours, right? 20% strategy, 80% is in our gut, soul, and brain, right? What we're telling our brain.
It is, because just like you said, your brain doesn't know any different. Your brain is basically, your wish is my command.
Yep.
So if you want to ruminate on the fact that you missed a sale, or you missed a deadline, or you weren't perfect in your presentation, well, that's what your brain's going to focus on. If you want to focus on the negative, my life coach calls it watering the weeds. What are we watering? Are we watering the weeds? Or are we watering the flowers? And so if you're watering the weeds, that's being stuck in negativity and self-doubt. And that's not going to get us anywhere. We've got to move away and water the flowers and stand in our confidence. And then that visualization process is so key. I have visualized everything that has happened in my coaching practice. Back to that story I told about when I had to go through my divorce, I visualized the life I wanted the kids and I to have. And we have that.
I love that. Visualization is so important, but you made it very clear earlier that we can, like, people put up boards, visualization boards, and they do the manifestation things where they're saying things, but that's just a part of that, telling your brain that. You also have to take the steps towards it, right? Even if it's just a baby step. And you're talking about becoming an entrepreneur. And I even put this down for the show notes because I thought it was so important that you got through your journey 5 minutes at a time. And I tell people all the time, like, what can we do right now? Let's not worry about that, like just right now. And I think it's so important when you're on this journey that you realize you don't have to do everything today. Not all the things have to get done, but you take that one step at a time moving forward on that journey. And that's going to give you so much more confidence than I didn't get all the things done today, but I got the important steps in, right?
Right. I mean, I'm guilty of that. I think as women, we just think, oh, I can do all that. I can spin all those plates at the same time. No problem. And then I wonder why I'm so like anxious and like, I mean, this will make you laugh. I literally looked at my calendar for the next few weeks and I just went through and started rescheduling a whole bunch of stuff because I've been overprogrammed. I've overprogrammed myself. I needed a coaching session with myself. When I realized I'd done it, I was like, well, this is a hoot and a half. This is what I coach on, and I've done it to myself. But you're right. Sometimes we just have to focus on what we can do and the little pieces, because it's that, I think it's Darren Hardy who wrote the book, The Compound Effect, where it's just little incremental changes, little steps. And, I always tell myself, next month at this time, this is going to look so much different. Next year at this time, this is going to be amazing. Can't wait to see what I've done. And I look back, even 3 months ago, my business has grown so much. And it's way different than it was when I really dove into the online space a year and a half ago. I've been private coaching for a while, but I hadn't tried my hand at courses and things like that. And so it's just, it's fun to look back and see how far you've come. And when you have days where you're doubting, when you're like, why am I doing this? This is hard and all that. I want you to look back and see how far you've come, because it'll amaze you. You'll be like, oh, look at me doing stuff.
I love it. So before we finish this up, I want to ask you one more question. What would you tell all the women out there? Because we're like literally in a new era for women. We have a woman vice president. There's so many changes happening and doors are opening. Here's the thing. we're pulling with us, unfortunately, still pulling with us that generational mindset of we can only do so much, and that's all that we will ever be expected to do or we can ever complete. And that's where that confidence as a woman entrepreneur comes in, is that I can do anything. I'm not competing with men. I'm not even competing with women. I'm pushing myself to be the best I can be at what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I'm going to blow the doors off of this because of that. What would you tell the women who are like holding, like I still hear it all the time with the people I work with. Oh, I don't know if I can fit into that space. I don't know, like that's like some pretty man dominated space. And so what would you tell women who have that passion in their gut right now to do something and just don't have the confidence to push all that generational bull crap aside?
I agree with you. It is bull crap. It is unbelievable. What I would say is that everybody has a seat at the table.
Yep.
It doesn't matter your gender, your religion, your income level, your education level. Some of the most impactful people in a room are the ones you least expected. And everybody has a contribution to make. Everyone's ideas are important and pivotal. And I would just say you have a seat at the table and you deserve to be at that table just like everybody else. And don't sit back in your seat away like this in the meeting. Forward and straight up, shoulders back, smile. We don't have to be aggressive. We don't have to be loud. We can just be ourselves, expressing our opinion very matter-of-factly. We don't even have to agree with everybody, because sometimes when ideas don't agree, that's when the best things happen. But it's in the way that we present them and the way we talk to each other and communicate. And I would just say, you've got a seat at the table, sis. You just have to stand in your confidence and claim it, and know that, like I say, it doesn't matter your gender, your income level, your education level. None of that matters.
I love that. So you do have a seat at the table. I want to end this with one thing on what you just said. I don't know if you have girls or boys, but I raised 3 daughters, and they're pretty powerful girls because they have a mom with a voice. But having said that, I have 2 granddaughters, and they're not as strong. And I had my 13-year-old granddaughter, when I told her, hey, you could be president one day. You should be paying attention in school. Right. Tell me they don't let women be president, Nana. And I was blown away. Like, they will never let a woman be president. I said, that's not true. A woman has influenced every single president that sat in office. They had a mom that they were held accountable to, that shaped them and created a part of who they are and how they're showing up as a president. So we've been in office since the beginning of time, but just not our faces. And now it's time our faces start showing up. But she honestly did not believe that women had a place in politics or as president of the United States, which made my heart sad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I have
a seat at that table too, just so you know.
We do have a seat at that table. And I think it will be a tremendous day when we have a female president, because she will bring a perspective that we haven't heard. Not that the perspectives we've been hearing are wrong. It'll just be a fresh new perspective.
100%. I hope that I see that day too, because I want to know that it's there for my grandkids, my great grandkids and their kids, that anyone who's capable and qualified can hold that office. It's not a gender office.
Well, and it's not a popularity. It shouldn't be whoever is the loudest in the room gets elected. Yep. You know what I mean? Which is
whoever's the meanest to make everyone look so bad.
That's what it felt like.
It is. Well, Tracy, I'm so glad that you were on the show. I could have you back a million times. There's just so much to learn from you. She has Be a Confident Entrepreneur that will be out now, because this will come out right around the time she's launching it. So we'll make sure we have all the links in there. So if you are struggling, or you just can't get to the next level, you've been working really hard, spinning those wheels, grab her 6-week course and start creating that beautiful change inside yourself. And I know she has. Do you have a group that they can come into where it's just women entrepreneurs that support and they help each other?
Yes, I do. It's actually not all women, which is kind of fun.
Love
Even
it.
though I coach primarily women, I do have some male clients, and they're amazing. The Facebook group is of the same name, so it's pretty easy to find. It's Be a Confident Entrepreneur, Gain Confidence, and Grow Your Income. That's the Facebook group. They can find me online at tracybeavers.com. I have a blog on there with lots of great content and free business tips and advice on everything from mindset to sales to networking to pricing. I mean, that's another area where women struggle, is stating their price with confidence and not, feeling like they have to apologize for it or explain it. So it's all there. And then, I have a YouTube channel that's kind of fun, and someday I'll have a podcast and I'll have you on.
I would love it. So you guys, when you can get free advice from a coach of this caliber, go get it. So she's given you a lot of opportunity to learn stuff on your own before you even hop into her 6-week course. So Tracy, thank you so much for being here and being so generous with all that you do.
You're so welcome. It was my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast. Make sure to visit Jana's website, bestholisticlife.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, or listen there, so you'll never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show. That'll help too. Let's change the world together, one health expert at a time. Looking forward to seeing you next time.